Semicolon Man.
What's up, Jay?
The huge?
You know it.
My name's Semicolon Man. I stand for mental health awareness and everyone living their best life no matter what. My greatest strength is connecting with the people of the community and reaching out to those in need. I play mental health oriented music, songs that lift people up. I hate a song that makes you think that you're not any good. Songs that inspire people to be their best selves. My goal is to make a difference one person at a time.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm Ferris, and I'm a mental health advocate and an artist. Semicolon Man originated in a mental health campaign I was conducting at NAMI CV. We wanted to put a different spin on mental health awareness, and right now superheroes are kind of in the spotlight, so we thought, why don't we utilize like a superhero as a mental health hero, to try to inspire and get rid of some of the stigma revolving around mental illness. And so it started out with just a drawing and an idea, and then it's taken off from there. The semicolon is something that an author will use in a sentence when he could have ended a sentence but chose to continue it. We apply the semicolon to a person's life, that we have situations where we struggle and we could give up, but we decide to keep going. I've created a lot of mental health oriented art, art that hopefully gets the message out that mental illness isn't something that only a few select people deal with. It's something that everybody goes through.
He probably was drawing like really well before he could talk. He's full of action, not a sitter. The only thing that made him sit down was to do art, to draw or to paint or to create something on the table. Some of the times he didn't want to be around other people. Like, he was so into art. It was like kind of an obsession. He couldn't get to a place where he felt like he had it right. And so he never got to a place where he had any peace with that particular project. There was always more to be done, more, push. He was enamored with superheroes and at Halloween being Peter Pan. He wanted to stay that way. He didn't want to move on after Halloween. He would get kind of stuck or wanted to stay right in that one place for a long period of time.
But at a small age, he, about this tall, he stood right there by that fireplace with his mother sitting on and he had an arm motion with it. Old man up on the mountain. So we all gathered around as an audience and saw Joe sing his first song.
Liners, lady, stranger to the water.
Some of the symptoms that led me to believe I was struggling with OCD first started in the form of body dysmorphia, essentially just obsessing about certain parts of my body until they kind of consumed my mind, and that's like all I thought about pretty much.
When he was out of high school, he started his college career in Colorado, and he went to Red Rocks Community College. He was in fine woodworking, so it takes a while to make things. He made guitars and everything, so he's making some pretty neat stuff. We'd go to visit him though, and then it was like he wouldn't break his schedule. It's like his day was regimented, like bam, 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 We'd go to the gym, work out, but it was like, whatever, I'm gonna make up a time. 2:02, we had to be there at the gym. I like to, push a little, then laugh a little, joke a little, then push some more. And Joe's like, we do bench now, we do biceps now. And I was thinking, okay, I'd kind of like to enjoy it a little bit, but I'm cool with that, So he was so driven that he was not smelling the roses very much.
I first told my parents that I was struggling with OCD when my OCD got to the point where I couldn't do it by myself anymore. I was just on the edge of not being able to continue my life. Like, I just didn't know what to do. I was in so much pain.
I remember sitting with him and him saying, I think I have something that is like beyond us, and I need to figure out what it is. So I don't want to live like this. he's the one that taught us that he needed help. He was verbal about it, which it took a lot of bravery to be verbal because he didn't know how we were going to react to it.
So some of the things I do to spread awareness of mental health is I go out and do presentations and I talk about my own struggle and I talk about my research regarding mental illness. The other reason I feel like it's important for me to make art about mental health and human rights is when I make art, I try to make it visually pleasing. Even if the message I'm trying to share is not like the happiest thing in the world, like everybody deals with mental illness, I'm still trying to present it in a way that attracts people and they want to look at it. So that's one of the advantages. When it comes to being active in mental health advocacy, one of the big things is my job. I work at NAMI CV.
What really makes us special at NAMI CV is we are all living examples of recovery. We have found our passion. It's serving the community and helping you find yours.
Joe's #1 job right now is promoting the groups and the works that we do, but also helping to create situations for people to learn more about stigma, about mental health and education. And he does it in a very entertaining and fun way. So he'll bring his banjo pretty much anywhere, and he will wear that Semicolon Man costume.
I've seen people who may not necessarily be open to talking about their mental health after seeing Joe perform actually come out and say, I've struggled as well, but this is really great. I'm glad you're going out and you're sharing our story. Joe is not just sharing his story when he's going out there, he's sharing the story of all of us.
When Joe decided on his research project, it took a while, as it takes a while for students to figure out what they want to do, but he knew pretty quickly that he wanted to do something having to do with mental health, and that he wanted to do something that would make a difference in the community. And once he figured out what he wanted to do, he really just ran with it. When he latches on to a subject that he is really interested in and that he's really passionate about, he can be very disciplined and focused when he's pursuing that topic.
Amy is a great teacher because she isn't overly nice.
We did battle, it wasn't all supportive, fluffy, wonderful times. No, it was hard work.
You meet a lot of different teachers when you go to college, and sometimes you can slip by the class like giving half effort. Amy is not that type of teacher, and I think it's because she cares that much. Her pushing me further than I would have by myself, I think, was a key part, and it was really actually important to my recovery.
So if you don't mind, I want to read just a little part of just a tiny description here. Joe, dons a purple and blue suit, complete with mask, cape, and a semicolon in the middle of his chest, which in mental illness awareness initiatives symbolizes that a person's story isn't over yet. So I really think that's lovely, and Joe does have this ability to, create, use, manipulate symbols. I mean, that's part, I think, of that artistic side of him. And so it's pretty brilliant that he decided to become Semicolon Man.
He has that personality where, whether you're quiet, shy, and reserved, or whether you're completely outspoken, he has that personality that can really engage any type of personality. Semicolon Man has definitely, in the community, has been interesting to say the least, but also has given our younger populations that we may not necessarily be able to connect to an opportunity to connect stigma and mental health together.
He does a very, very good job of letting uninformed or partially informed people like me walk away with much more knowledge than we ever expected to have.
I think he's an inspiration to me to be able to speak and to open up my mind about mental health even more, but being an inspiration to other people that suffer, that is very positive too. He can help people be able to recover and feel like it's not about others, it's about them, and then moving forward to have a better life.
I saw how he and his brother, when they were in a band together, how they inspired a lot of people. And that's because I had the exposure to those venues, and so I was able to see the impact they had. I can only speculate, just connect the dots that he's got to be having a similar or more far-reaching impact on people. So I think you just got to keep doing it.
I think that everybody has the power to be a hero. What I mean by that is you don't need to play banjo about songs of mental health. You don't need to make art for social change, and you don't need to organize presentations about mental health awareness. You just need to be a person who will listen to people and maybe share your own story once in a while. You don't need to wear a cape.
Everyone deals with mental illness one way or another. But if we share our stories, we can make it easier for the next person to say, I'm struggling. If I had just one thing for you to take away from listening, it would be, no matter where you are, no matter what you've been through, no matter how hard it gets, you are not alone.